All right, y'all. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady
And the
Sparkle.
beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And we are definitely in the building. We got a dynamic show for you today. An author. We have everything here today. We're going to talk a couple stories, some few stories. Because it's been a dynamic season. It has been a dynamic day. It has been a dynamic few weeks. And we're going to talk a little bit about everything that has been going on. And so I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about everyone who has been following, liking, inboxing. I just want to put something out there real quick. So we shared on our social media some action figures. That's made with AI, ladies and gentlemen. They are not real. So you can't buy them, unfortunately. But I know Lauren, she was doing some digging and probably found out where you could purchase them. That's what she does, her little research. But you want to talk about the research path?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was contacted by a friend of mine, and they saw the video on our Instagram, our We Talk Weekly Instagram page, and you can see our AI images that were created of the dolls of our likeness. And I was contacted by someone who sold the dolls, and they were like, "Oh, I want a doll. I want to purchase one." So I was like, "Oh yeah, that it's not real. It's just kind of like," and I had to put it in the lamest terms because some people don't really understand what artificial intelligence is right now. So just like, oh, it's kind of like a cartoon of us. It's not real right now, but it's kind of like a cartoon. I was like, but we did look into like possibly getting some dolls made of us, and if we do, I'll let you know how much they cost and if you can purchase them. So. Yeah, that could be in the works. Could be.
We're gonna put Tanisha in
I can't wait.
She gonna have on a robe, a gavel, some
cute
hair did, and all that.
Real talk. When I was little, we was at this supermarket on 69th Street in Upper Darby, and it was when Princess Diana died, and they had the dolls in the market. I walked up to the doll and handed it to my mom. I said, "Mom, this is gonna be me one day." I said, "Watch this, we're gonna make dolls of me."
Oh, see, spoken into existence.
That's right. So now we really gotta find it.
Yes.
All right, it's one of those things. All right, y'all. So you already know what we're gonna start with. You ready to jump right into it? First of all, I gotta ask y'all, how was your day? Cool Spark, how was your day? How was
My day was cool. I did nothing. I'm really like with all that food that we buy. I didn't go buy a lot of food though. It's just me. So I just got, bread, butter, eggs, the cereal, and that's it. But who doing what out there? Y'all doing snow angels or sliding?
Absolutely not.
I know none of that. I had enough of that back in the day when it was like that was my day.
No doubt. What about you, Sis Wilder?
Y'all ever see that episode of Martin when he got to go get his license renewed, or what is it? His he goes to the DMV and he's there all day. That's what my day was.
Oh goodness.
The DMV. I hate the DMV. So I spent half the day in the DMV, but got some things out the way, and
Was it crowded?
Yeah, it was crowded. It was crazy.
You would think nobody's there because of the weather.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I thought.
Y'all had the same idea,
right? Everybody was thinking the same thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna just get there and I'm gonna get in and out. No, you're not. They come giving you that Beetlejuice slip where you like you like number 1,000,000. 1,500,999, whatever. And you like, just what? Like, I gotta wait in this line. Just like, I wish I had a laptop and some Starbucks and all that.
That's
I could have got some work done. Your ticket.
I
know, right? Exactly.
Give me $100.
Yes.
And then
I'm gonna try that next time.
Then they're gonna take that same ticket and make another $100 off of somebody else who just came in.
Exactly.
Like, look, I got all day.
Yes. Yeah. Crazy.
No doubt. All right, Tanisha, how's you doing?
I did my usual catter day, so I napped all day on a Saturday. But probably because I'm getting old and I was recuperating from last night, we we celebrated my girlfriend's 40th birthday.
Oh.
Nice.
Well, what you was doing at the party that made you have to recuperate?
Well, it was like a 18-hour day. I went to work, I had appointments, and then I had to rush to the party. And then we ain't seen each other in 2 years. Girlfriends from high school, people was driving up from different states. So, we just wanted to be with each other. It was a good time though. We ate good too. Y'all know it's restaurant week. We was at Havana last night.
I forgot about that.
Yes, restaurant week.
That food was amazing.
Wow. Yes. Restaurant week is like, and I think they push restaurant. I can't even say it. I'm gonna leave that alone. But they pushed it back. They pushed it back a week because of the snow.
Yeah.
We got almost 10 inches.
It was
crazy.
a lot of people out last night. I thought it was gonna be lightweight. No, everybody was outside in their furs last night. They thigh boots, like they was getting it.
So it was a movie. It was like a whole event.
Exactly.
But was it? How was parking though? Because literally, I've been disgusted everywhere I go in the city. Parking is just crazy because of how everything's been plowed.
So the parking there sucked before the snowstorm because it's in a complex where people live, and so if you can't find street parking, which is never any anyway, you got to pay for a valet when you get there. So I guess that worked last night, knowing that I already was going to have to pay for valet, so I figured I was going to have a space. But getting there was crazy because the snow still isn't shoveled, where you couldn't even turn into certain streets, or you had to go into the opposing traffic lane because the snow was just still there.
Oh, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because it was one day that I was leaving work in Chinatown. It was wild.
Yep.
It was just like, where people would park on the side that was filled halfway with snow. So it was like half of a park. People were halfway parked in it, but then halfway into a lane.
Exactly. Yep.
So instead of it being 2 lanes right there, it was one lane.
Yep.
And then it was like a park that people were halfway into the second lane. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
And it was backing traffic up.
Exactly. Because Havana's right there on Ben Franklin Parkway. It's a highway entrance and exit there. We couldn't get off the highway. People couldn't get on the highway, all because of the snow and people having to use opposite lanes just to get around people. It was terrible.
That's crazy. That stuff like that makes me not want to go anywhere.
Oh, I ain't want to go, but I
just like
couldn't disappoint her.
Well, yeah, something like that. Yeah, you do have to go.
I was close though, saying never mind, y'all.
Yes, you gotta go. You gotta go to that. You gotta go. But yeah, other than that, I just would have been in the house chilling. Because this snow and all that, I'd have just been. But see, how was your day?
Yeah, it was busy.
Busy.
Yeah, pretty busy. No doubt.
Yeah, you got something coming up, don't you?
Yeah, I have something coming up. What? No, what I got coming up?
You going to Miami? Bienvenido a Miami.
Yeah, she did the Spanish on me.
That's Will Smith.
I know, right? That's funny. Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to Miami. We're going to do a panel. I'm going to talk a little bit about AI. So they reached out. This is AICI USA, right? And so AICI is the Association of Image Consultants International, to which I am a accredited certified image consultant, right? And so throughout every 2 years, AICI USA do their biannual conference, and the international organization every 4 years do theirs, right? And so I was at first when we went to Punta Cana, and then I was at Manila. This year we're in Miami. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about AI, some of the things, some of the tools, how to utilize AI, how to scale your businesses with AI. Do you even need AI? Do you even understand what AI is? So yeah.
Me too, girl.
That sound like fun.
We told Weekly Crew want to go.
I know that's right. Yeah. Well,
so we're gonna be there.
I'm leaving tomorrow. Right?
That sound like fun though.
Yeah. So it's work. Sound like I don't go nowhere. I'll go. I'll probably stay in my room for the whole day. Wake up, do the presentation, and then get out of there.
It's warm in Miami.
Well, yeah. I heard that it was kind of chilly though, right? Yeah. So
it's not 20 degrees.
I know that part.
It was 20 degrees yesterday. Yeah.
So you already know what's coming up. So that was my day. But we got an interview coming up, and so we got to jump on her. Y'all ready for her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You ready to give it to me?
I am.
All right, why don't you give it to me early? Tell us who we have today. Who do we have today?
Today we have Bria Rose with us. She went from Disney to dark fairy tale retelling, flipping classic stories into wicked, twisted tales. She's an author, a coach, and a creative powerhouse. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Bria Rose. Yay!
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What's going on? What's going on? How are you? How are you?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I got a lot of work done today, a lot of writing, so I'm ready. I'm in the zone.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Now, before we get into anything, and I ask you about the book, because that's would you consider your book a novel, correct?
I'm gonna be honest.
It's a lot of
She's a long
pages.
one. She's a lot of pages. It's a journey.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So, what you had, Spark? Yeah, you had a few questions for. Why don't you jump onto it?
All right, Bria, tell us how did you wait? You did a transition now. You did from Disney to dark fairy tale retellings. Let us know about your Disney experience because we know that there's a lot of, child stars now that are Disney stars that, Disney has a lot of backstory with them. So tell us how it all began.
Well, it all began in my mom's tummy. Really, truly, though, she was the first Disney lover. Actually, my grandma was, and that's kind of started the tradition. When I was 3 months old, they're like, "Okay, I guess it's time to go." And we went when I was 3 months, and I think once I hit a certain age, we just never stopped going. That was just ended up being our vacation spot every year. But the stories as I grew older just became more ingrained into my identity. And so when people would say, "Oh, what's your dream? What is your dream job?" I'm like, "Oh, well, working at Disney. That is the dream job." And I did it. I, succeeded. I got to be part of the Disney College program twice at Disneyland in California. And it was a beautiful experience. I got to be part of different food and beverage type of events and the different restaurants in California Adventure, and then transitioned my way over to PhotoPass for the last remainder of my time at Disneyland.
Hmm.
Nice, nice. Really quick for Disneyland and Disney World. One is in Disneyland is in Cali, Disney World is in Florida. I heard that Disney has like what their target is customer service, like making you feel at home. Is that a truth to that?
Yeah, so we have a thing called like the four keys. And I can't remember if it was like the four or the five keys, but number one is just like making magic. The number one goal of every single cast member is to make sure that every single person, every single guest that comes in, whether they are, 0 to over 100 years old, every single person feels as though they are immersed in the culture that is Disney, whether, so all the different characters, all the movies, every cast member you meet. We are just definitely upholding the show. That is our first key. So yeah, um, it's it's really quite magical.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us about now there's a book that I didn't read it all, but tell us about this excellent book that you have. The name of the book and how did you create this?
Well, it is Her Dark Promise, and it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where Belle is the Beast. Beast and Gaston are brothers who get trapped in her castle. And it is definitely a little different because it is gender bent. And the way that it all came about was I was actually in the shower, had just finished reading a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
Hmm.
And as I'm in the shower, inspiration hits for the ballroom scene. And I end up calling my friend while I was still in the shower. I'm like, "I have an idea. I think it's going to be really cool." And I wrote it, ended up getting an editor, and we kind of not scrapped everything, but we very much changed a lot of it, and it just turned into Her Dark Promise. And that's kind of how it all came about. Was I read a book that kind of inspired me to create this book. It inspired me to want to do want to like take on writing, because I'm not a writer.
Hmm.
Before writing my first book, it was never at the forefront of my mind. And I don't know really what happened, but I feel like I got bit by the writing bug, and now it's all I really
Hmm.
do.
That's interesting that you said that, because I I'm of course a journalist, and I write, but I'm not like a nonfiction writer. And I recently started researching like how to write like novels and things like that. So what is like your creative process for like writing? Like how do you develop characters and things like that? What gets you like motivated into writing? Because you know how like you have like some writers where like Stephen King has his process. He has to like, he has to do his thing to be able to develop his characters and all that. Like, what gets you into writing your characters and what gets you going?
That's an excellent question because everyone is so different. So for me personally, I don't do outlines. Outlines kind of
Mm,
emerge as I
yeah.
write. So I write in my Google Docs, and when I have a big scene, so let's just say, for example, Her Dark Promise. I'm like, okay, so the story's going to follow loosely the Beauty and the Beast story. So I definitely want to have a ballroom scene. So I'll put that in um, big, like not italics, but I'll make it big. And then on the side, I'll have, um, I don't know what it's called, but my little outline will be on the side.
Mhm,
And so I'm like, okay, ballroom scene. Okay. Then I think, what's before, what's after? Okay, well, something crazy happens. So that's just kind of how the outline develops. But the way that I write in general is whatever inspires me. So normally it's the really big scenes first, and I call
mhm,
them the boring bits, the transition scenes.
mhm,
And so those are last. Everything, whatever is in my brain, will come first. And that's normally the spicier scenes or the bigger, more chaotic scenes, things like
mhm.
that.
Okay, so you're pretty much like writing your big scenes first,
Mhm.
and
I'm a
then
puzzle writer.
yeah, 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 yeah. So how I guess do you write for like a certain way you want your audience to feel, or like is there like or is there a way that you just write for the inspiration that like you have personally on the inside?
So I do believe that no matter who the writer is, there's always going to be an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to enjoy it.
Right.
So, in my opinion, I have to write a book that I'm most excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And while I do have a specific audience in mind, I always remind everyone, hey, this is not for everybody. If you're into young adult and you don't like spice, then please don't read my book because there is so yeah, I do have a certain audience in mind
Hmm.
when I do write. And yeah, I try to just warn people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you call this an adult novel, kind of? The
Young.
romance, the relationship wise, how dark it is. What would you actually, if you had to put this in a category, what
Mhm.
would you say it is?
Dark romantasy.
Mm.
Dark romantic. That's
Yeah.
great.
I
I
like
love
that.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dark
Yeah.
romanticy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Love it, love
Mm-hmm.
it, love it. So
Yeah.
so starting the book though, because you mentioned, the Walt Disney worlds and those characters and Beauties and the Beast. Is that the inspiration behind the way that you think creatively? Just, fictional characters with, love stories. Is that kind of like your genre, your lane that you love to stay in creating?
When my editor and I had got together and after we finished Her Dark Promise, I'm like, okay, girl, what is next? And she's like, listen, there's a few different ways you can go. Because I did write a book in high school with an ex friend of mine, and I recently got the full rights to that book too. So it is
Mhm.
an original. Uh, and I am eventually, hopefully the next year or two, going to push that forward. But she's like, listen, you really like Disney, and that is a really good niche. Like, what else would you want to do? Would you want to do, I mean, there's fantasy, oops, sorry, my light went out for a minute. You're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, honestly, I'm kind of known as the Disney girl in my social circle, and I think I want to continue on this retelling kind of journey, but I
Mhm.
also enjoy fan fiction. But
Mhm.
you can't publish fan fiction. That's a completely different thing than like a reimagined retelling. But I want to use fan fiction as like inspired. So for example, Harry Potter, because everyone knows Harry Potter.
Right.
Um, a, a lot of people wish that Hermione and Draco would have got together. I think that's a missed opportunity. So
Yeah.
maybe in a future book, I would like to have an inspired or a book inspired by Hermione and Draco, like an academic rivals situation with magic, things like that. So I like retellings in general. It just doesn't have to specifically be fairy tales.
Wow.
Can you tell us about your most favorite character that you created?
Well, I think it's probably Calethea. Calethea is my Belle character, and I want to say it's because I kind of based her a little bit off of me.
Hmm.
I mean, Beauty and the Beast is my all-time favorite character, and it's kind of not taboo, but it's kind of weird. Like, why are you gonna put yourself as your main character? I'm like, no, it's just I see myself as Belle. She's intelligent.
Yeah.
She's everything I aspired to be when I was little. She was my role model, and I'm really excited that I got to be able to write Belle, but more complex, with more
Mhm.
depth, with more feeling and emotion. Like she had a lot of really crazy bad things happen to her, and
Yeah.
she kind of lost her way for a little bit and became the morally gray character in my book. Because not in Disney, we have heroes and villains, black and white characters. Like heroes are the heroes, they can do no wrong. Then you have the villains, they have zero backstory until Disney put out Maleficent, where people are like, oh, this is what happened to her. That's actually, I understand why she's become a villain. I would too. So, I really appreciate Disney exploring what makes a hero and what makes a villain. And so, in my book, definitely Calethea is just this beautiful, complex character who really the main purpose of the story was for Calethea to lose her way. And then, with the help of her friends and the brothers who end up coming and kind of shaking things up, she finds her way with their help, not because of them, but she just like finds herself. So it's a self-love journey back to herself. And I think that's why I love Calethea so much, because I think a lot of people can relate to her.
Yeah, the complexity of the characters, right? I didn't get through the whole book, but the complexity of the characters stood out for me. All of them was so complex. It was
Yeah.
a curse mentioned via Calethea. Can you explain that a little bit more? Because I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, can I ask how far you got? Because I don't want to do any spoilers for you.
Yeah.
Not too far?
Not too
I won't
far.
ask then.
I'd say about a quarter. I didn't realize how many
Okay.
pages it was. That's why I was questioning, is it a novel? I would love to see, right? And I'll let you answer the
Mhm.
question, but I would love to see some graphic stuff in there. I think this was so great. This it was so great what I was reading. It kept me kind of like in the book, wanting to read more, wanting to read more, but also explore the characters more. And that could be because I didn't get all the way through the book, that it would, peel back the layers of how dynamic the characters was. But the curse aspect of it stood out for me. So I was really interested in it. But I would love for you to talk a little bit more about that without the spoilers. But I guess you can't tell me the curse without the spoiler, right? I guess I'm
No,
talking.
I can tell you a little bit. I can tell
Okay,
you a
yeah.
little
All right,
bit.
cool. Let's go.
So actually, what just came up into my head right now was that in the movie, Disney's movie, we get the curse from that's the first thing we see is
Right.
how we got cursed, what the curse is. It's the rules behind the curse, because the book is about breaking the curse. Or not the book. The movie is about breaking the curse, but it's just about a person finding their way
Right,
back,
right.
right? A person loving somebody else for not what they look like, but who they are, right? So the curse is there, but it's not there. It's not the main purpose. But for my story, you learn it towards the end about exactly why she was cursed. Even Claythea doesn't really understand why she was cursed until the very last few chapters of the book. Now, with the curse, we slowly get the rules and what is around them. So Calathea was cursed at 18 years old. She is currently, I want to say, 370. I chose that specific number because there was 300 when I did my research, there were 370 people who worked on the film.
Right.
So I really wanted to integrate a lot of Beauty and the Beast facts. But so the rules behind the curse are she's not allowed to leave her premises. So she lives in a castle middle of the woods. She
Mm-hmm.
cannot leave the border of her lands at all. So she's been isolated for over 300 years, which I think anyone would kind of go crazy.
Mm.
Um, she can't die. So she's, um, I don't know what I can say, what I can't say. So
She
she
a
has
vampire.
she's tried to unalive herself a couple of times. Essentially,
Mhm.
yeah, essentially kind of
Yeah.
vampire-esque. She
Yeah.
does not drink blood, but she definitely does not age. She's kind of frozen in time. And I
Uh,
think that's probably be the best way to explain it.
yeah.
She cannot have children. She cannot birth life. She is just stuck and frozen in time. And so she has nothing else to do. She's sitting there, and the only thing, she just gets more bitter and bitter and bitter, just stewing in her anger and regret and
Yeah.
betrayal, everything. And all she has to do every single day is just sit and wonder, like, why did this happen to me? All of the people that everything withers or grows and then dies, and I stay the same.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I do want to say that I do appreciate that you do include trigger warnings and discuss mental
Yeah.
health awareness on your site, and I think that's extremely important. And how important do you think? Because there's a lot of authors who don't have that disclosure, and they don't, mention that. So how important is it for you as an author to balance artistic freedom, with emotional safety for a generation that prioritize transparency as well as well-being? Because now it's like,
Honestly,
years and years and years ago, there wasn't a trigger warnings. There wasn't mental health awareness.
yeah, honestly, I would rather people go into my books without knowing anything because I do feel as though some
Mm.
trigger warnings, it ruins some things,
Hmm. Right, that's true.
So I have been really thinking about like adding a trigger warning and saying, hey, there are trigger warnings, but if you want to see them, go to the back of the book.
Mm.
I've been trying to think of
Mm,
different ways that I'm like,
right.
hey, there's these things. I don't want to give it away. If you want to see it, please go to the back of the book. Please go to my website. Of course, in this book, there are a list of trigger warnings because I do take mental health seriously.
Hmm.
And that's actually surprising when I went into writing these types of books, I never thought that mental health, like I would be really researching, okay, if somebody has PTSD, how would they react in this type of environment? How would they react to somebody doing this to them? Would physical touch be okay for a person who has gone through this type of trauma? So,
Mhm.
because I can't imagine someone, um, let's just say, was abused in some kind of way, let's just say physical abuse, child
Mhm.
abuse, which trigger warning for people, but let's just say child abuse. And it was by a parent, and maybe like hands were thrown a lot.
Mm.
Maybe for I would assume that this character, this person would have a really hard time with physical touch. I don't think they would want to be touched a lot. And so, and not even in a intimate way, any kind of way, just someone randomly touching them. I'm sure
Right.
that would, in order for that to happen, they would have to have a lot of trust in that person. And so, in a book where I have that, I would need to show the growth between those two characters. So
Mm,
I, yeah, so that's what I mean kind of by research is
Yeah,
how there
right.
was a lot more to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
That I really want to do these stories and these people because sure, it's not real in my book,
yeah,
but it
Hmm.
happens in real life and I need to do it justice because people will put themselves in the roles of these characters.
yeah. I think everyone does that when they see a character that they can identify with. Then they
Yeah.
kind of put them within themselves. But it's interesting that you talk about physical touch because I think love language is when you say physical touch, right? But it can also express itself in a hyper kind of position of wanting to be touched all the time, right? And so
Hmm.
it can be the opposite of not wanting to be touched. So I think of, even you just being able to do your creativity without saying anything. That's your creativity.
Mhm.
However you feel that it should be put out there, that's what you should be able to do because that's what you is yours, right? So whatever you feel you wanted to express it however you feel that you wanted to express it. I believe that's how you should go about expressing it, right? Because that's part of the creativity of it all.
You make a really good point with the whole feelings thing because kind of going
Yeah,
back to my writing process is I don't really know how to tell people how to write because until something feels good, I don't
yeah,
stop fixing it. Like I'll
yeah,
go back and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This transition doesn't feel right. Or the way that when you create characters, they end up writing themselves. And
right,
so,
right,
like what you were just saying, do what feels right. Because there are some situations where they're called like black romances,
yeah,
where it's super dark. A lot of people aren't going to agree with someone who was intimately abused.
right,
They go more towards being more promiscuous, more this. A lot of people are
mhm,
like, well, that's not how, everyone's journey is different.
that's right,
And, so when you create these characters as authors, we need to be as authentic as possible
that's right,
to the character that we wrote.
that's right,
That's why it's great to have diversity because not every, it's not everyone's going to react the same, be the same. But for me in general, when it feels right, I'm like, okay, this is the right course of action.
right.
Mm.
Amazing, amazing. It's remember it's your creativity and just do with it the way you see it because ultimately listening to someone else can change
That's what I was
kind of
gonna
like the
say.
position of where you felt like the character was going because you're listening to all the noise that's coming to you, right? And
Yeah.
it always changes the process.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it also sounds
yeah.
like
Well,
it could be.
Hold on, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, Bria.
oh, I did not mean to interrupt you at all.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Bria.
I was just going to add the beta reader process because after we write books,
Mm.
we like to send them out to beta readers to make sure some people like
Mhm.
sensitivity readers or African American readers, Mexican readers. So if I'm writing a book on Pocahontas, I might want some Native American beta readers to be like, hey, who are like actually immersed in the culture because I'm also Native American, but I'm not immersed in the culture. Maybe something that I wrote was offensive or like wrongfully so to where it's going to be really problematic. I said something happened. So beta readers, while yes, we need to take their advice like seriously, we also need to stay true as an author to if they have saying like, no, this doesn't belong. I'm like, no, that's actually integral to the story, so we have to kind of nitpick on what is appropriate for us to change based on their advice.
I totally agree. I also think that when you all were talking about how, how certain things are black and white, black meaning darkness, light, white meaning the light, it seems like the darkness sometimes is more of a truth teller. And it seems like
Mhm.
when Charles just mentioned about staying creative, although, and I think it's great that you give like a trigger warning, but it's sometimes a relief for people to be like, you know, they are recognizing something that they didn't really want to have as a reality for them. And it's almost like it's helping them instead of the opposite, almost as if they're saying, hey, I see myself in this character. And I didn't even know that I was suppressing what all this time. And it brings it to life. So I think
Oh,
that's awesome.
100%.
Yeah. Also, now Bria, are you also like coaching new writers, or what kind of advice do you give to people who are, trying to find their identity or trying to find their niche in writing?
Sure. So I have to stop saying I'm a newbie author because I've been an author for a couple years now, and I did everything myself. I am a self-published author, so I did all the research. I published it myself. I found my own editor. Everything was done by me except outsourcing like the cover art or some fan art that I had commissioned. So certain things were outsourced, but all in all research, everything was done by me. And so I feel as though I have a lot of advice I can give. So that is in the early stages of me really, I would love to take on some coaching clients and kind of help them specifically on the journey that I did of self-publishing and also how to get your book in books subscription boxes. And because I did do that. Actually, if you I don't know if can you guys see so this is my special edition copy that
I
I
love it.
got with Probably Smut. Yeah.
Look how
So
thick
they
that
did
book
Oh
is.
this.
wow. Yeah. It's beautiful.
She's she thick. She a baddie for sure.
Yes. So tell us about the art. I love it.
Yeah, so
The
this actually is
design.
the original. This is the
Hmm.
original. My friend actually hand
Oh, that's
stamped
pretty
the
cool.
edges of this.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so this was done. I got this commissioned, and I had a certain vision. Once I had in
Hmm.
my mind, because of course, when you see this, and once you know this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, like for beauty is found within. That is straight Beauty and the Beast. It's the Beast
Hmm.
portrait. So that was a vision for this book or this cover. And then I had nothing to do with this cover because the company Probably Smut was like, hey, I actually have an idea.
Hmm.
Can you kind of let us go with this? Or can you let it? I'm like, you know what? Do your thing. I trust the process. And she turned out so pretty.
Yes,
Loving you will destroy
beautiful.
me.
I love that.
Um, that is a quote in the book.
Mm.
And that just kind of Calathea. Love is going to destroy her. It's going to turn her entire world upside down. And this is probably my favorite quote is I'm not afraid of the beast. I am the beast. She is the
Oh,
villain. She is, that's how she sees herself. And what's so funny is nobody else sees her that way. But sorry, I'll go on a
yeah.
tangent. But yeah, no, this is the cover. Probably Smut did that. And it turned out beautiful. 800 copies were printed of that. So I
Nice.
really want to help people find cover artists, find
Hmm.
book box. I did the work. I did all the legwork. I have all the emails and all the, everything. So I would love to help people on the journey. I actually also signed with One More Chapter, who is part of the HarperCollins family, but it's
Hmm.
um, they're under the umbrella of HarperCollins. And so I am writing a book for them. Hopefully it'll be out in a few months. I'm so excited. But
Awesome.
so now I have a little bit of insight into this like online publishing thing. So I have some insights. I would love to help some authors and just even if it's one session, just listen to people where I was a couple years ago
Mhm.
and now being able to be in a position to help them is going to be really nice.
Hmm.
So what advice would you give to like a Gen Z or millennial writer that just hasn't gotten started and they're just afraid and don't know where to start? What's some advice that you would give to them?
I think number one is people get too caught up on perfection because I know I am one of those as well. Even
Me too.
today, I'm like, no, this doesn't, they'll write something and they'll delete it. No, no, no. What you just need to start doing is have a stream of consciousness. So you just need to write. You just type, type, type. Don't think about it. Go back in later, add your details. Don't, and because you're not going to get everything out on the first draft, the first rough draft. For example, I am writing a Pinocchio retelling next.
Mm.
And yeah, it's really fun. But there is magic in this world, and this first rough draft does not have a lot of magic in it because I'm solely focused on the story, the plot itself, and then the second run through is when I'm going to add in all like the finer details. It's just like a painting. You have to start with the base layer, the base coat, and then once things dry, and you kind of leave it alone for a minute, then you kind of come back and then you add in all the details. And I think that's what people need to realize is you can't edit a blank page.
Mm-hmm.
You can't publish a blank
Yeah.
book. You
I
can't,
love that.
you have to write it. You have to write it. It's going to be crap. It's going to suck.
Mm.
You have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with your rough draft sucking because Harry Potter, Twilight, all of the great Stephen King, I'm sure every single person, every single author, big or small, will tell you every rough draft sucks, and you have to be okay with that.
Mhm.
I'm stealing that.
Mhm.
I'm
That's okay.
stealing that one. Yeah. Hmm.
When you think of what's next for Bria Rose, right? What's next for Bria Rose? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I'm going to have two books published this year, working on my third and my fourth, which is going to be a start as a trilogy and end up being a bigger universe. I have, this year is a big year for my writing career as I'm going to my first book convention in San Diego in September. So I'm
Okay.
really excited for that. Um, More marketing, more presence on social media, and just kind of getting my name out there. Not, I'm kind of feel like I'm underdog, or not underdog, but underground, where certain people know about me, only certain, and I'm ready to go mainstream. So
Okay.
that's kind of what's next is just keep writing. The more books you have, the more opportunities you're going to have. You can only do so much with one book.
Yeah. Well, you on We Talk Weekly, so a lot of people gonna hear you now, right? And so that's
Yay!
yeah, right. No doubt. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh what does it, you don't foresee some type of movie or anything for this book?
That's what I was gonna ask. I
Yeah.
gotta get this on the big
Yes,
screen,
like
please, Miss Rose.
I know I
Yes.
just visualize it in my head. I want to see a movie or something like
Oh,
Hmm.
we're talking big, big dreams. Sorry, I was just talking 2026. No, movie is going to happen. I don't care how it happens, but it's going to happen for sure. I actually already have an audiobook out of it that came out probably about 6 months ago now, back in September, October. And yeah, no, there's a lot of really amazing things. I just want to be at a point in my career where I can travel the world, write books, and then make that red carpet premiere. I
Mhm.
really do. Movie really is I also would love to do a graphic novel of my book. So maybe a sequel, maybe a prequel of The Parents. There's so many different avenues that I can do with Her Dark Promise
Yeah.
and all of the other books that I have planned. And yeah, so movie is the main. Once I have a movie, I'm like, whoa, that's
Yes.
going to be insanity.
You
Yeah.
know what I see? Can I throw a little nugget out there? I see a podcast that you're talking about these characters, right? Expounding on the layers of who they are and doing that on with every book that you create. That's what I see. Because this isn't a book that you can just read once and just be like, it's done.
Mhm.
You start to think of the characters and the complexity of the characters and the layers of the characters and the relationships of the characters, right? So you don't have to talk about the book per se, but definitely the characters and what was going through the mind and how these characters. I see a podcast of you doing this. So think about it, and I believe it'll be very successful. It's a niche, it's a group of people that love this stuff.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
kind of a nerd back then. Yeah. I was I was a Dungeons and Dragons person back in the day, and
I
so
remember that.
yeah, you're right. And so it's a group of people that, they out there and they love this stuff. And I think you doing something like that would be amazing. So think
Thought
of it.
about it.
Yeah.
I will. I actually have thought about it, and I just wasn't sure how to
Nope,
really go.
nope,
Just
nope,
it was
nope, nope,
another thing.
nope, nope, nope. We're not gonna say you're not sure. We gonna do it, right? We gonna do it.
Yes,
That's what you just said it yourself, right? We just do it. Just do it. Not perfection. We're not
facts.
looking for perfection, but we looking for the creativity and you doing something that you know that you can do.
I love that. You know what? Facts.
There you Let's give her a round of applause.
Yes.
So uh dang, this time went so quick. So before I let you go, one thing that we say on the show is once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show. So you're always welcome to come back. But I want you to leave us with before you tell us how everyone can get in contact with you and all that stuff. You kind of mentioned it as it relates to this question that I'm going to ask, but I want you to give one last word of advice for a young lady that may be looking at you and maybe a little nervous or scared to write something or start something, and she's listening to you and she's like, gosh, I love her. What would you say to that little girl?
I would say to be kind to yourself, and your your words matter. Literally, the words that you write, they matter. They matter to somebody. And I've had people come up to me at, book signings that I've done saying like, "Thank you. This was life-changing." And so in your hands, your computer, your talent is life changing for people, and you don't know who it's going to touch until you put it out there and write it. So like we said, just do it, because someone has to be famous. So,
Mm.
or even if that famous isn't your, the point that you want to get to, just writing the book and publishing,
Yeah,
someone has to do it. So why not you?
yeah.
Someone has to do it. Someone has to have a movie made of their book. Why not you?
Right.
Someone has to, why not?
Fantastic,
Why not
fantastic.
you?
Round of applause for Bria Rose, ladies and gentlemen. Why don't you let everyone know how they can get in contact with you and find your book and contact you if they need to talk? How would they do that?
Well, I have branded myself really well, and everything is under author Bria Rose. That is .com, that is at Gmail, that's TikTok, Instagram handles. So definitely send me an email or a DM.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I want to give you a round of applause. And Bria Rose, right now, you deserve your flowers. So I'm going to give you some flowers right now. You keep doing your amazing work. Keep writing. I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to finish this book. I want a hard copy, though, with pictures and everything on it. That's just but you have to autograph it for me, and I can say that I got it directly from Bria Rose, right? And so, without further ado, I just like to thank you for coming on the show again. Once we always say, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back. But one more again, let everyone know how they can get in contact with you.
One more time, that is author Bria Rose, BRIA, rose.com, at Gmail, Instagram, TikTok, and send me a DM and say hi.
There you go. Slide in her inbox, y'all. Slide in her inbox.
Yep.
No doubt. All right. Well, it's nice talking to you when we see you on the other side. All right, ladies and
Bye,
gentlemen, when we
Bria.
come back, we got Tanisha going to give us some stories. Tell us what's really going on in those streets. Don't go nowhere, y'all. We'll be right back.
Mama Near Club.
Say that again.
Mama Near Club.
Mama near. That's a hard word. Mama near. Can y'all say that?
The Mama Near Club. I started the Mama Near Club when I was pregnant with my son. I was learning so much, and I didn't realize how many options that we had. Like growing up in the hood, options not really presented to you. You just feel like you got to follow suit with whatever people say you got to do. And as I started to do my research, I'm like, okay, a lot of people could benefit from this information that I'm researching. So I would just share all of the information that I was learning, so other people can realize that they got options. It don't matter where you're from. It don't matter what your income level is. You got options.
So describe what the Mama Near Club is.
So the Mama Near Club is a club for moms that's on a mission to make their dreams a reality. A lot of times when you have kids, you feel like your world is over, and no, that's when your world just began. Because like the true blessing to your children is a mom that's fulfilled, So I don't believe in stopping your dream for anything. You got to figure out how to balance both. And I don't like to say balance, because when you think of balance, you're thinking like this, right? And you just never really steady. I like to harmonize, like see how it can all flow together. And I just think that as a mom, you don't have to stop your life. Men don't stop their life when they have kids. That's when they go harder. And I feel like we can do the same thing too. So that was that. It was just to encourage moms. You got this. Listen, you got this. You done birthed a whole human and you figured it out. That's the hardest job in the world. Nobody ain't tell me that. You figure that out. I'm sure you could figure this business out,
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And Tanisha, you ready for me?
Absolutely.
All right, give me some stories early.
All right, ladies, gents. January 2026, snowstorm aftermath. I know y'all know how we get down in the city of brotherly love, city of mayhem, and whatever else. When it comes to our snowstorms and our parking spaces, I have to say, even though I'm an attorney, I'm with the people on this. Sweat equity is something that we should actually stand by. because it's a lot of work getting out there to shovel out your pavements, your steps, your walkways, your cars, and then sometimes having to go and do it 2 or 3 times because of the massive load of snow that we're getting. And so I understand what that does to people, breaking people's backs, you're slipping and falling, you're frozen, you might even be on the verge of hypothermia. So I understand all of that. And then they have to go out in the trenches and go to work or go get your kids or whatever and come back. And now you don't have a place to park. It's 9 o'clock at night. It's colder than it was during the daytime. And you got to drive around for hours or sit there and wait for somebody else to come out or try to get in a spot that's a complete ice mount and run the risk of bumping into cars in front of you or behind you. So I get all that. That being said, let me tell y'all what the Philadelphia City Code is. Chapter 12, Section 3101. It says, prohibiting the selling, leasing, or reserving of public parking spaces. No person or any other entity other than the city and its designees shall lease, sell, or reserve any space located in any street, roadway, or cartway, or portion thereof under the city, under the control of the city. So, you know, if it's city property and it owns it, it's saying that you can't interfere. It also goes on to say that no person, etc., shall assist or conspire with any person or entity to do any of these things. Again, that's selling, leasing, or reserving any space located in any street, roadway, or cartway, or portion thereof that's under the city control. And then lastly, it reads that any violation of this section is punishable by a $250 fine for each violation, each sale, each lease, each reservation of any space or offer to perform such shall constitute a separate violation. Now, I did some digging, and just like I know my city would do, we unfortunately covered some incidents, and there's one video for you all to take if you haven't caught this story yet.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. Here we go.
Police have been putting out warnings trying to prevent heated escalations like this one. Action News reporter Brianna Smith, live in Philadelphia's Wissahickon neighborhood tonight with more. Brianna.
Yeah, Rick, snow isn't the only thing covering the streets of Philadelphia. They're also dotted with traffic cones like that one, chairs, and other items, all to save parking spots. But Philadelphia police are reminding residents that savesies is illegal, especially after that violent altercation earlier today.
It's very disturbing.
This surveillance video shows the fight over a snow-free parking spot that left a 45-year-old man in critical condition on Thursday afternoon.
It's very dangerous right now.
The brawl unfolded on the 2700 block of A Street in Kensington around 1:20 p.m. Philadelphia police say the 45-year-old victim had a knife and a 21-year-old man had a gun. Both put down their weapons during the fight. Then they say a 36-year-old woman grabbed a gun and pistol whipped the victim before firing a shot to the ground.
That's why.
Man.
Wow. They both put their guns down, but the woman picked up the weapon. That's crazy.
I do want to talk
It
about
was
that.
surcharges.
Yeah.
So I know this is a bad situation, but I do want to point out the fact that, you know, the crime rate has been crazy. Violent situations have been crazy. Crimes against like people and using weapons has been on the rise here. Slowing down, but still bad. But what I appreciate about this group of people, wherever their hearts and minds were, is that while they brought weapons to a fight, they put them down and they went old school. Yeah. So I at least appreciate the light bulbs going off where this wasn't an automatic tragedy. I believe the man is still in bad condition, and we don't know if he's going to recover. But I did want to give out some Philadelphia kudos to that. At least y'all turned y'all thinking caps on in a heated moment, so we do appreciate that. The rest of the story goes on to say that the victim does remain hospitalized with injuries to his head, and no one else was injured. That all of the people involved are in custody. And then you heard what the police had to say. Even though it seems like it's not that serious of an issue, unfortunately, over the years, we've seen some really tragic results. Case in point, my cousin 2 years ago was killed in broad daylight over a parking lot dispute with his neighbor. And it was a dispute that had been going on for years. And then it ended in cold violence and gunfire, and where the wife intervened and everything. It did go to trial and things like that. But this is happening with and without snow. And then other people were commenting that, you know, some woman parked into a parking space, even though she shoveled out her own, but she needed a different space by the time she came. I'm guessing hers was gone and somebody left her a threatening note. But this is what's going on. Police also advise that if you're trying to save a parking space, you could face the violations like the code that I just read, or in extreme cases, you can get some more serious charges. So I'm going to discuss some of the charges that could come from the depiction that we just looked at. You can get disturbance and nuisance charges, engaging in fighting, things like simple assault, aggravated assault, terroristic threats, firearms violations, attempted murder, manslaughter, and even some of the smaller city code violations. Again, we don't know if this man is going to make it. So whatever the charges may be could escalate by the time this all comes to a resolution. Now, with that being said, I do want to, if you guys are participating in the Savesies, I understand the culture of the city, so I know people are doing it, but I just want you to take a moment to think about the impact on your future, job placements, and court cases, other court cases not even related to this. It can affect your custody cases, your DHS cases, if you have a history of stay away orders or protection from abuse orders. This thing will follow you for a long time. And these crimes like simple assault and aggravated assault and terroristic threats, those are major violent crimes that will impact other cases that you may have that you may come across in your life. So kind of just think about it. Is it worth it? Is it worth the time? Is it worth the what you could lose in the future? Is it really worth even a life? The law generally preserves life over property. So you're never going to win a fight when the law is already set up where life is more valuable than property. So just think, people, think. So we're asking. How y'all feel about that?
It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, at the very least, for one, I always give flowers. One, I want to give flowers because you're educating the people and giving them the information, and that's what we need. And that's if people, right, did more of that, then we will probably have less issues because people are doing certain things that they don't know. Either will cause consequences or have consequences, or they will get in trouble. I didn't realize that it brought all of that. That said, you know the culture in Philly.
Yeah.
So, if anybody would like to avoid the drama, then know the culture of Philly. Cultural competency. That's a true term. Cultural competency. It may not happen in New York. It definitely happen in Philly. It may not happen in Jersey. It definitely happen in Philly. Especially if you're a fan of Philadelphia, Eagles fan of Philadelphia. Things happen in Philadelphia.
Now, in lighter news, some Philadelphians turn bad news into good news by opting to become one with the snow. There were several videos circulating in social media and major news outlets of people of all ages creating fun times and good memories in the snow. Got another video coming right up.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. I had fun with this. I actually went out there. Shout out to the park. Shout out to the drone pilot too, who did all this, captured all of this.
I was going to ask y'all. They looked like they had a blast.
They had too much fun.
And I would have loved to be in one of those, I don't know if it's an ATV or what, doing them drifts
ATVs,
around the city. I mean, that was probably illegal too, but it looked like a bunch of fun. I don't like snow, but I would have been outside for that. I'm glad people actually got out. Did y'all see they had TV boxes, hampers, storage bins, whatever they found, they was getting outside to have a good time. And those are the things that I love about this city. I ain't seen that nowhere else, but I love the way people came together to have some fun in Philly for the snow.
Oh, he really had skis on.
Yes.
Full snowsuit skis and everything. Like, where y'all find this at?
Yes.
And people got out the way.
Exactly.
Oh man.
I love that.
Amazing. Yeah. Shout out to the art museum too, because they could have went out there. Y'all trespassing. What are you? They already know they haven't seen. So that's why I said Philly is a little different. You know what I mean? So shout out to the art museum for letting the people have fun, because that gave them something to do.
Yeah.
You know, people, work was canceled for some, you know, schools were closed, and it gave it something to do that was constructive. And so that's what people need to be aware. When people are doing something constructive, let them be, because it could be, they could be robbing you.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, speaking of school closures, the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers made a response to the Philadelphia School District resumption of in-person learning after one snow day and one virtual day has unlocked a huge debate among parents, teachers, and administrators. In a post, they wrote that on behalf of the members, the decision to resume in-person learning should have been made if building conditions were acceptable. If your school lacks heat, running water, available parking, or shoveled sideways and walkways, students and staff are to contact us immediately. And then the masses started pouring in. One teacher commented that hardly anywhere in our building has proper heat. We have pipes burst over the weekend. Tons of our classrooms are unusable right now. There's huge piles of ice and snow around the school, making it hard for students and teachers to get into the building. The students actually had to be lifted over the snow. One school bus couldn't even make it to the school. We should have stayed virtual. Another school reported that of all of their school buses, only one was actually able to make it to the building. Another posted that these decisions make no sense. Y'all, in one instance, or I guess throughout the whole city, children were told to report to school. But then an email went out sent to the parents saying that the in-person report card conferences also scheduled that day are now virtual for safety reasons.
That's what we,
So kind of contradictory. Another one said school is freezing. We're wearing coats inside. I fell 4 times trying to get into the school. And when I reported it, I was dismissed saying, well, you're the only person that walks that portion of the school. To which she said, that is not true, as staff and students in both the middle school and high school walk the same path. Others posted that schools were only open for financial reasons. Another posted, the doors to the school are frozen shut. Another one reported that they couldn't even get into their own car out of the parking spaces, couldn't dig it out just so they can get to work. And then in my own real life, I had a colleague who shoveled her car out twice. They get in the car to turn it on and go to work. The car is working, but it's frozen to the ground, and she couldn't move it days after the snow. She still cannot move her car today. So the city is still majorly impacted by the snow. Did y'all have any trouble?
You know what? Before you answer that, I want to pull this comment up.
Go ahead.
Wayne Pierce. Wayne Pierce is actually my guy. This is my guy. And this is probably one of my first friend. He lived right next door to me.
Nice.
This is probably my first friend ever. Lived right next door to me. But Wayne, you watching, right? So tell me where you live at. See, when people say this not happening around my way, I have to question, where do you live? Right? Because if you're not in, the 4 areas of Philly, right? And then you in a county, that's a little different. If you're from Philly, North Philly was one of the worst places right there. Shout out to North Philly. South Philly, some places in South Philly. But what I will say about South Philly is that they have some private organizations and companies that was doing their due diligence, clearing out the area. So that had nothing to do with the city, had everything to do with the organizations who was doing some work. So Wayne, you still watching? Make sure you let us know where you live so we know. But it was a young lady on Instagram who was had some pretty choice words. For the people who run the city. Oh, there you go. Here you go. Let me pull this up. See, there you go. My guy live in Middletown, Delaware.
That's where the rich people live.
Yeah. And so, but he said, I don't forget where I came from. Well, then let me tell you a little something, because Fraser Street was still messed up, my guy. Yeah. So that's where that's the block we grew up on. Yeah. For sure. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so that's you want to talk about trigger warning? That was a trigger warning for me. I'm just saying.
Now, in other news, speaking of the school district of Philadelphia, the week before the snowstorm, they put out a publication that they are closing, merging, and upgrading 20 schools that are set out to close within the next year or two. It says the district is weighing closures in light of under enrollment, outdated facilities, and budget constraints, such that they have a 10-year proposal of $2.8 billion in facilities planning in January 2026 to close. The schools, the zones that are being affected are in the Northeast, Northwest, and West Philadelphia. And if this is approved, it's going to go into effect on February 26th of this year. It includes preschools, middle schools, and high schools. Some of the schools are being shut down completely. Some are being given to the city to turn into housing, like what they did with West, the high school a few years ago. Some of them are merging, so they'll shut down a school, but then transfer the children over to an existing school. And then some are getting upgrades, and I believe one was reported to be, I guess, the starter for the year-round program that Mayor Parker had talked about implementing in the city of Philadelphia. So a lot of people are about to be impacted with all of these changes if this proposal gets accepted. Now, I did a little bit more research, and the question was posed, like, how do we get here? We already know that our school system has some issues, especially with funding and financing. We can't keep teachers. Then we try to draft teachers from all over the place and give them different packages to kind of make it look like, come here, help us out. And having to balance the violence of the city for people who are not from here and things like that. But this process came on the heels of a landmark school funding lawsuit, which found that Pennsylvania's school funding system to be unconstitutional, leaving districts in poorer areas underfunded. In 2025, the Philadelphia schools received $232 million more from the state than the previous year. That's good. But the district remains with considerably less money compared to its suburban counterparts.
Exactly.
And so I know we do a lot of complaining about our school system, but we are not the only ones. This prompted immediate opposition and concerns from families, educators, and local elected officials. I'm not going to quote what they were saying, but y'all is going down. They done planned a rally about this to protest what this proposed plan could do. It was actually supposed to happen on the 29th. I think because of the weather, it may not have occurred because I don't see any updates. But this is what's happening in the city. I don't have any children, so I'm not really impacted by the deep nuances of this. But how about y'all?
Yeah, same. Like, I just know it's just sad that for the past 15 years, though, we knew that Philly school systems were starting to spiral down.
I just want to put this article is from Chalkbeat. Yes. And it says Philadelphia school closure plan would move hundreds of students to lower performing schools, which is a problem. That's the problem that I have. If you're going to shut down schools, then you need to support them. So if the decision is to shut down these schools, right, and say, for example, not that it's Masterman per se, but if you have a higher performance school like Masterman, why would you put them or move them into a school that's probably not in the 10th percentile of academic success? It doesn't make sense.
Well,
right?
it makes sense to them because
it makes sense to them.
Well, no, but they're doing an agenda. It's for failure. It's not for success. So they're doing it methodically because it's like, if we're saying it makes no sense, okay, y'all setting this up for the setup. Like it's for failure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sadly.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But that's the thing. You stay woke, right? You know what that's about. So it's still not okay. Right? Yeah. It's not okay. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I was having a conversation with my nephew earlier, and he's not in high school anymore. He's graduated, but we were having a conversation, and we were talking about a lot of the initiatives that are being set in place that came from Project 2025 to kind of dismantle the Department of Education. And, we were having a conversation about that, and we were saying, like, what can we do? And this is, not just a rhetorical question. This is just something like to think, like for communities, Black and brown communities, to think, like, what is it that we can do where we can help these schools, where we can come in and partner with the schools, those who have community organizations, those who, are able to help or able to kind of partner with the school district or the charter schools or whatever. What can we do to help these schools to create programs that will, supplement education, or kind of like do something to boost their levels. Like, what can we do? Because it's like we can't just sit idly by and like let and just watch it happen. We cannot do that, because we're doing a disservice to these youth, these young people who are supposed to be the next generation. What does the next generation look like if we just sit here and allow this to happen to them? They are, we're supposed to be, this is like what we said, it takes a village. Like, how can we be in the community of a village and sit and watch? It's like we're watching a house burn down. And like, how did they put out fires back in the day? Like, when there was no hose and no firefighters and none of that, how did they put out fires? Like, what, you sit and watch the house burn down? Like, what are we going to do? That was just my thinking. It just makes me angry to see this stuff happening.
Tell them why you mad, son.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying.
I believe we already are seeing the effects of the poor schooling that has happened for
it
last
already
few
was an
decades.
issue. Yeah.
I mean, not that it's a big deal, but kids can't write in cursive anymore. When they come to the courthouse and they have to sign documents and we'll say, put your name here and put your signature here, they'll be like, I can't. I don't know how to sign. And I'm like, we understand that, kids born after a certain year, it's okay. If you just need to print it twice, that's fine. But then I'm seeing some social skills diminish. Some of these kids are parents now and they come through the court system, and when they get in the court to tell their story, they're silent. And I'm like, trying to encourage them. You're here, you filed a petition, you obviously have an issue going on. I need you to tell me what it is. And then they don't have speech. And it's not that they're nervous, they just don't know how to formulate their words, how to feel, how to tell you what's going on. And then, I'm from the inner city, so I'm telling me in your language. I'll understand. Just say what you need to say, and we'll work from there.
But that's that part, because a lot of times, a lot of these parents, and a lot of them are young parents, and they think that the school is supposed to teach them. It starts at home. You're supposed to be like, okay, the school ain't teaching you how to write in cursive. I know how to write in cursive. Sit down, hold it like chopsticks. Like, hold the pencil correctly. Like, I'm going to follow the dots. Remember the dots you would make, and they had to follow it. Why? We can look at the schools, but we got to also look at what's going on in the household, and then go from there. Dude, what's his lean on me? Remember when he took little Keisha? Was it Keisha? They went to the mom house, and he was like, "This how y'all living? No, we got to make this better because it starts with school. I mean, it starts at home. If the kid is going to sleep and the last thing they had was Takis and cheese doodles and Roman the ramen noodles." How they gonna concentrate at work? I mean, at home. I mean, at school. Like, they don't even have them clean clothes. Like, it's so much deeper. If you pull back the layers, it's just not school.
That's it. Yep.
So that's it.
That's that.
That's a wrap, folks.
She said, "That's a wrap." Well, that's a wrap. Tanisha, I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful,
classy ladies,
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle,
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
And this is We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy ladies, sparkle.
There you go, and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
Classy lady,
one more
you ready for me?
Yes, I'm ready. One more again. I'm ready for you.
All right, give it to me early.
All right, now I'm just going to piggyback off of a lot of stuff that Tanisha was just talking about. This might be something that's going to help with the school district. So Philly is now facing a projected shortage of 2,000 teachers, and city leaders are doing their best to help. So Philadelphia Citywide Talent Coalition just launched a $200,000 called Teach PHL recruitment campaign to boost hiring in public charter schools for 2026 to 2027. So this effort is bringing together 50 plus organizations and using digital platforms like TikTok and Instagram to spotlight teacher careers and certification pathways. As coalition leaders, they say that they must fill the vacancies today while building the next generation of educators. So how do you find this information? So you could go directly to www.teachphl, that's TEACHPHL.org, or you can contact the School District of Philadelphia and offer and go to talent support. Their number is 215-400-4600.
Look at all this. You know?
I know.
We talk weekly. Your source of
yes.
information here. Your news and information here. Holla.
But it is said that we're, a shortage of 2,000 teachers.
Yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
why? Because they're closing down the schools.
Mhm.
Like you said, make it make sense. But now here's $200,000 push to get teacher recruitment.
Yeah, they need. Well, they did that. I forgot where else they did that. They were actually trying to pay teachers to come back in the. But,
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have to do that.
Mhm.
Teachers should
going in
already
Jersey.
have an income that sustains them
Mhm.
in the schools.
Teachers are taking their own money to buy supplies for kids.
They have been doing that way too long. For
Yeah.
years. And
Yeah.
Philly have some of the greatest teachers on the planet. I'm gonna
Mhm.
tell you,
Yeah.
I still remember some of my teachers when I was in elementary school.
Me
right?
too.
And so a lot of these teachers are getting burnt out. I just saw an amazing. Now this was a basketball coach of, I want to say Franklin, Benjamin Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
They did a special on him. This brother was buying sneakers for his whole team.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And no one knows. No
Mhm.
one knows things like that, right?
Yep.
And he says that it was some of the players who actually didn't have sneakers. So he was like, no, my players are going to play, have sneakers, and all of us is going to look the same,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Nice.
And so that was amazing. But that was a story. Benjamin Franklin, right across the street from Franklin Learning Center, right in the same
Yeah.
building as it's another charter school that's in the building of Benjamin Franklin. I forgot what it is. But yeah, shout out to all the teachers, shout out to all the the coaches. The coaches are
Unsung
father
heroes.
figures.
Yeah.
Yes, are
Absolutely.
father figures to these boys who need direction, man. Y'all need to amplify this stuff. So kudos to all these people who's doing a great work, the fantastic work out there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, our next story, y'all know I covered this one about the CEO with United Healthcare. So, a federal judge has ruled that prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty against Luigi Minaj. He's the killer of, or alleged killer of, the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So the judge tossed the federal murder charge that made capital punishment possible, calling it legally flawed, but left serious charges in place which still carry a potential life sentence. The court did allow key evidence, including a gun and a notebook allegedly describing plans to whack the insurance executive. As the judge put it, the law must be the court's only concern. Prosecutors do have 30 days to decide whether they will appeal. So I want to hear from legal.
Over there on that side
Yes,
of the,
yes.
that side of the table.
That
Yeah.
topic is one of an ongoing great debate about whether or not people with a society should have cases where they end in the electric chair or things like that. That's pretty brutal. There are other means and measures like a lifetime sentence, and that usually people will try to, if they can go for that and find a way to do that, they'll opt for that. But I believe it's still legal in some states, definitely at the federal level, and it's going to take some judges like him or some changes to the law where that's no longer an option. I understand that a lot of people feel that sometimes with really heinous crimes that people deserve that, especially when there's been murders or serial murders and senseless things. So I understand that sometimes it's a balancing act of what's going to justify society's feelings and victims' feelings on it versus what the law should do.
Yeah. Life sentence used to be 25 years back in the day, right? If you get a life sentence, it was 25 years. But then I don't know what year it changed that now it's natural.
Life is life. When they give you life, it's life.
Yeah.
Yep.
But at one time it was, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
Reason I say that is also I was watching Malcolm X and him and Spike Lee was getting sentenced to life, and Spike Lee's character fainted and he was like, yo, you don't know, but that's just 25 years. And then I think they did change it years after. All right. Well, this is something else that Esquire talked about. So Philly did just have a major storm, right? It dropped about 9.3 inches of snow, and this is the most they've had since 2016. So city crews have been plowing, hauling, even melting some of the snow that they're trying to figure out what to do with it. Mayor Sherelle Parker is saying that She wants to work on residentials first and ensure that cars are not blocked. However, they just lifted the they just lifted the state snow emergency, so people were parking their cars where they were left on emergency routes, but that was lifted on January 27th. So if your car got towed and you don't know where it is, I got a number you could call. You could dial 215-686-SNOW. That's 215-686-SNOW to find and retrieve where your vehicle may be. So
that's great information. One more again.
That's 215-686-SNOW. Again, people were parking in the emergency routes and they were not getting ticketed because we were in a state of a snow emergency, but that was lifted on January 27th. And now towing has started. So if you don't know where your vehicle is, that might be a number you can start with.
Wait, you said towing has started? They just started towing, or
yeah, once they lifted it on the 27th, they started.
That's when they started. Then
they start towing people's vehicles. So if you
haven't gotten it now, how much it costs?
Oh, right. Oh, hopefully. And you already know how Philly do.
Mm-hmm.
You keep it in one day. That's rent.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, all right, this next story is a good news. This story is spotlighting on Black men. So in Philly,
Hold on, wait. 1 second. Hold on.
Black men.
Hold on, wait. I just need a moment of silence, real quick. Would you like to say that one more again?
My black brother. Spotlight is on Black men.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So in Philly, the spotlight is on Black men and mental health and leadership. The city's Department of Behavioral Health hosted a powerful panel called The Weight of the Crown, exploring how Black men and lead under constant pressure without losing themselves in the process. So speakers talked openly about stress and the unspoken expectation to always be strong. As one leader asked, "Am I strong enough in the moment to lift that weight?" The understanding of that statement was clear, that leadership shouldn't mean suffering in silence, and even those who wear the crown need support to keep it straight. So if you want more information on this group, you can call or email the Engaging Males of Color. That's EMOC. Their direct number is 215-685-4726. Again, that's 215-685-4726, or you can visit them or email them at emoc@philly.gov. That's EMOC, stands for Engaging Males of Color, at philly.gov.
Fantastic.
Kudos to them Black men. I love my Black men, though.
Yes.
My family, my cousins, my brothers, my father. Black men are they're just amazing species. Y'all are.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Tell some of y'all sisters that.
I do. They say the same thing. The group, but y'all got flaws. There's some things
We
that
all
can,
got flaws.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we don't just have flaws, though. It's a difference. We all have flaws. We just don't have all flaws. That's the difference.
Yes.
There you go.
No, yeah. But y'all definitely are good Black men.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Give you another round of applause for that.
All right. This last story, it came long enough. So after 27 years, Philly-born rapper Eve has finally been officially awarded a Grammy for her uncredited verse on You Got Me by The Roots. The 1999 hit that helped define an era of hip hop and neo soul. The track originally won Best Rap Performance by a Duo Group at the 2000 Grammys, but Eve wasn't recognized at that time because she wasn't credited on the release. Real quick, short story, ADD's coming over. I knew The Roots, but one of them I knew particularly because we was in the same class. I graduated from Martin Luther King High, and he used to be like, "Spark, I'm in the studio." Yeah, shout out to MLK. He'd be like, "Yo, I'm in the studio." You know, everybody back in the 90s was in the studio. Everybody in the studio. Then they did the video and was asking like all their classmates, the very first one, to come through, and I was like, "Yo, he really was in the studio." So, and Roots is the Roots. They real, the renowned and the staple of Philly. Quest, Black, all of them. So shout out to the Roots.
Yeah, another round of applause. Shout out to the Roots.
Yes. All right, well, getting back to the story, Eve wasn't recognized at the time because she wasn't credited on the release. So last week at the Recording Academy Honors, they presented by the Black Music Collective. The Academy corrected the oversight and they finally gave her the trophy she deserved. As Eve said while accepting this award, she said, "This is actually for the little Eve from Philly, the little girl who loved to write rhymes and just wanted to be in the business. It's long overdue win, but the many fans and fellow artists, better late than never."
That's good.
Yeah. She telling them, yo, I don't really need this.
Right.
Y'all ain't doing that much for me, but I'm going to give it to the little girl who grew up in Philly that one day loved to be in the business and the write and rhyme and all that stuff. Because it was kind of a diss, but not.
Yes,
Am I the only one who said it? I was
definitely.
like, and she like, I don't need you. But
Thanks for writing it wrong, but what took you so long?
Exactly. 27 years, 30
Right.
years. People dead and gone at this time. But okay, that was your good news and your bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle.
Good news, bad news for Classy Lady Sparkle. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And this is We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMRP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk. And you already know what we got coming up next.
We got the sizzle. More news. More news.
Early.
All right, guys, make sure you support independent journalism. Word for today is independent journalism.
Yeah.
When we talk weekly news by subscribing to all major podcast platforms and follow us on all social media platforms and stay informed and connected. And if you want to jump on this wave and help us expand our news, our solutions-based reporting, you can make a donation via Cash App to $ We Talk Weekly or securely through PayPal at wetalkweekly.com. And every contribution makes a huge impact. All right, so y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Y'all ready for this?
It's like I'm tired of this already, but I feel like we just gonna keep hearing about this, and it's not gonna go away because I feel like this is just gonna be a part. This is a part of a campaign, and it's just going to continue to keep going on for a while. But Nicki Minaj. So while some American celebrities like Rosie O'Donnell, Jonathan Majors, Megan Good, and George and Amal Clooney, they have either obtained dual citizenship or abandoned the states altogether, Nicki Minaj has joined an elite group of individuals gaining access to citizenship under Trump administration terms. So Nicki Minaj has revealed a photo on X of a Trump gold card with the caption that read, "Welp." And then she followed up this post with another post that read, "Residency, the cope is coping. Finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak, as per my wonderful, gracious, charming president." And ironically, in 2018, Nicki posted a picture of children being held in ICE holding facility along with the caption, "I came to this country as an illegal immigrant at 5 years old. I can't imagine the horror of being in a strange place and having my parents stripped away from me at the age of 5. This is so scary to me. Please stop this. Can you try to imagine the terror and panic these kids feel right now?" So it's funny that people are jumping right back into that Facebook post that she posted in 2018, and they're like commenting like, "What's up, Nicki?" Today.
How they
You thought we forgot, right?
Yes, like these people today are some forensic analysts.
Wow.
Like they need to be getting paid because there's people out here to do that work as forensics
Curators. Yeah.
yeah, they're like forensic analysts and social media. Yeah, they work in law enforcement and they go in forensic stuff and they go through people's social medias and they find stuff.
So is she documented? Or she is now? I don't understand.
This is what she's a part of what she's trying to do from the looks of it. So what she's saying now is that she has her Trump Gold Card. So you can go to trumpgoldcard.gov, which is crazy. And it says that applicants should submit their online, they give you instructions on what you can do and how you can fast track your way into U.S. citizenship. So they're saying on the website, applicants should submit their online gold card application and initial processing fees through the website. The Department of Homeland Security will then begin the applicant's vetting process. Upon successful vetting, the applicant will be asked to submit a gift to the United States to demonstrate his or her ability to provide a substantial benefit to the United States. Following the approval of an EB1 or an EB2 visa, an applicant can obtain legal status as a permanent resident in the United States. To ensure timely processing, applicants should be on the lookout for further instructions from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services once they submit their online gold card applications. Via email, USCIS will instruct applicants to create a myuscis.gov account. USCIS and the U.S. Department of State may also require additional information to be submitted as necessary. So the cost, which a lot of people already know, is $1 million or $2 million gift payment, depending on type of applicant. So if you're a celebrity, if you're somebody that's rich, you got money, you know what your gift is going to be, $1 or $2 million, depending on what tax bracket you're in. So upon receiving an email after vetting is complete, applicants or their corporate sponsors should instruct their banks to use an ACH debit or Swift wire transfer, U.S. and international bank accounts, according to the instructions provided at that time.
That's crazy.
So what I'm guessing is that she is going through that process right now. And
what Kanye say? We can't buy our way out of freedom. Well, looky here.
Yes. Yes. So what's your thoughts, Esquire, on this process?
What I remember from law school about the whole visa process and getting citizenship is that it's different mechanisms that they can use, and then for certain time frames and things like that. So what I think is going on here, he done added this to it, and now it's a buy-in. A buy-in for citizenship, just saying the words out of my mouth sounds insane.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we contrast that with the way he's getting people out of the country, but now he's making a way for only the rich, only the 1%, only the entitled to come into the country, that's wild. But at least he's letting people in, is all I can say about that.
Yeah. And
price.
Yes. And it's crazy because
what about their criminal histories, if any? What about their violent crimes? So, and I understand their vetting, but you can't tell me for 1 million or 2 million you ain't finna overlook nothing.
Exactly. And
where does that money go?
Okay. Yeah, that's the question of the day.
Yeah. Okay.
Where does that money go?
It's going to fill that hole of our deficit, they'll say.
Exactly. Exactly.
$1 trillion deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to Doge? I'm gonna leave that alone, but
oh yeah,
they were supposed to investigate government waste and fraud, and like we're I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, so former CNN anchor turned independent journalist Don Lemon, he is among 4 others who were arrested by federal agents in connection with an anti-ICE demonstration held at a Minnesota church. And Don Lemon was charged with entering a church and filming an anti-immigration enforcement protest as protesters disrupted Sunday services. So, well, let me just finish reading this. There were 4 other journalists, and Don Lemon's attorney Abe Lowell released a statement saying that Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. Don has been a journalist for 30 years and has constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis. And his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing this work. Instead of investigating the federal agents who killed two peaceful Minnesota protesters, the Trump administration department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to this arrest. And that is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. So Don Lemon was arraigned and released hours later. I believe it was less than 24 hours. But then upon release, Don held a brief press conference stating that I will not be silenced. He vows to continue doing independent journalism and covering news. So he's had tons and tons of people speaking out. People like Hakeem Jeffries, the National Association of Black Journalists, Roland Martin, and so many others have come out and condemned these actions. We know that Project 2025 lays out a roadmap for suppressing media. Many are calling this an attack on First Amendment rights. Independent media and journalists are being attacked in Minneapolis for the 24/7 coverage of illegal ICE raids. And, this is my question to you, C. We have covered many protests here.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia, including the George Floyd protest and No Kings protest.
Yep.
So this could have been one of us.
Yeah, I would have been locked up.
So
I cover everything. I'm out in them streets. I would have. I just would have been. Y'all just would have had. I'm calling my lawyer.
Exactly.
Tanisha.
Exactly.
I'm booked.
Exactly.
I was doing the right thing.
Yes.
I'm booked. I need you to come and get me.
So we got to keep her on retainer because it's like, what do you do at this point when it's like, and there's I've been seeing so many, and let me give a shout out to NABJ because we'll be speaking there at their annual, their monthly members meeting this next Tuesday coming up about Black media, independent Black media, and the importance of Black media because there's an attack obviously on independent Black media, independent journalists, Black journalists. There's an attack right now.
There's always an effort to keep us silent.
Exactly. And I heard people saying like, if Don Lemon was still with CNN, would they have been able to arrest him because he's under an organization? Now that he's an independent journalist, he's his own pretty much entity.
They probably would have did the same thing anyway. I don't think they have any. I don't think they have any guardrails of any. I don't think
that's
they
true.
care
They
where
might have
you
been
come
trying
from.
to arrest him on his own. It's true.
Yeah.
And I did watch his live coverage of what he was out there doing on January 18th when he was out in Minnesota, and he was covering the protest there after Renee Good was killed by an ICE agent and Alex Preddy. So wait a minute. I don't even think Alex was that before. Wait, when was Alex Preddy? I'm trying to remember dates. Everything is going so fast. I can't even believe it's January 31st already. So I don't think Alex Preddy had been. Do you remember what day he was killed on? Because he might not. That was January 18th. So when was Alex Preddy? When was Alex Preddy killed? I don't think he was killed yet.
Yeah.
I think it was just Renee Good at that time.
Was it January 24th?
It might have been. Yeah, because we came here wasn't it last weekend? And that had just happened earlier in the day. We were here last Saturday and that had just happened earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even get, because it was breaking news, we didn't even get a chance to address it.
Yeah, January 24th.
Oh, no. We were virtual last week. because of the weather.
Yep, it says January 24th, following the killing of Renee Good on the 7th.
Yes, you see that didn't even happen yet. But so he went there to cover the protests in um there because of Renee Good. And that's what he was covering. He was going out, he was speaking to people. And I did watch part of it, but it was almost 7 hours of live coverage. So it was really too long to watch. But I did see when he went to the church, I did see how he went in there. He distanced himself from the protests. You could see when he went inside the church, you could see people, you could see the protesters come in, you could see the congregation sitting down and worshiping. You could hear, the church music and all that going on. You could hear the pastor speaking and all that. And the protesters were chanting ice out, ice out, ice out. And this went on for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes or longer. But he was on one side, the protesters were in the middle. He was recording. He never chanted anything. So from my perspective, he was acting as a journalist.
Yeah.
And he was covering it. He did go around and ask attendees there how they felt about the protests and all that. He did speak with the pastor, and from what they were saying, the reason that those protesters went to that church and interrupted the service was because the pastor was supposed to be an ICE agent. He was an ICE officer.
Oh, wow.
And he was also the pastor of that church. So that's why that protest was organized to go there and interrupt that service.
Wow.
So he spoke to, the picture that you put up, the second picture, that was him interviewing the pastor.
Oh, got you.
And then while he was talking to the pastor, he was asking him a question, and he was like, wait, don't push me. So the pastor, I don't know what happened there, but Don said, he was asking him a question. He was like, don't push me. So
interesting. Well, I know, I would have been locked up, because for me, I mean, you talking about somebody who have a long history of advocating for those who are vulnerable in any situation. I mean, it's been times I got up out of the house because, one of the interviews that we did in some important community was one where sex on, was it sex? Or I believe it was sex on, was it sex?
That was Lord and Taylor.
Lord Tellers. Fired a whole bunch of women. It was like 7 women without question, without any explanation, and no one would go up there and support her. Guess what I did? Me and the camera, we out there talking to these sisters, right? What's up? What can we do, right? And that was something that kind of went viral with, just supporting. But I'm known for that. Like I'm very unapologetic about supporting these vulnerable communities. So much so that I remember Trayvon Martin, say his name. We did a die-in, quote unquote die-in. I was on the news and everything, I was there supporting that. But it's about amplifying certain things that need to be seen. If it's injustice here, it's injustice everywhere, right? Because it circulates, right? It becomes bigger, because if you let something go, they think, let's see how much further we can go with it, right? That's why, when it comes to this ICE thing, I like, and I probably shouldn't say that, but I appreciate the pushback that's happening. They're not just being quiet and letting people just get murdered and kidnapped, because that's essentially what's happening. They're getting unalived and they're getting kidnapped. It's something wrong there that no one is talking about. It's not okay. It's not okay, and you can't even see these guys. Can't even see them. All their faces are covered. It's something wrong here. And if we don't say anything, if people don't say anything and report on it, then they're going to continue to do it. Now, that said, if something is wrong, it's wrong. If someone is illegal, they need to go through the proper resources or situation or process to get legal. That doesn't warrant someone to be unalived and kidnapped. It just isn't right. And that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, and I think Tanisha can speak to this also. When and even somebody that does enter the country illegally, there's still a due process.
Yes, that's my point.
And it's like
They
you
have to go
can't
through the process.
right, exactly.
Allow them to go through the process.
And that's not
honestly,
what's
some
being
of them, I
done.
had spoke to someone who said they didn't or was just unaware of how to even start the process. It's not like it's signs there as soon as you come up. This is how you become a citizen of the U.S. It's nothing like that. So at the very least, right, give them the tools so they can utilize them to do what you want and need them to do.
Right.
It's just not rocket science.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I know there's something going on here now that the city council is working on initiative for, I believe I forget what the name of the bill that they're trying to introduce is ice out or something like that. Yeah, they're working on that now too, and they're trying to come up with the plan because it's like it can't be, we can't trust their process. You know what I mean, with what they're doing, and it's like kudos to the people over in Minnesota and their fight for democracy and their fight again and the pushback that they're giving over there. It takes a lot, and they're really working together, and just seeing how they're supporting their immigrant community, and just trying to help,
And kudos to the Philly leadership who is getting together to do some things about ICE. I know we talk a lot of trash about our leadership as a culture, but it was nice to see that they're actually working on things. So y'all give them some grace, let them work it out.
Yes. Yeah, because
for the cause.
For the cause.
Because there are some things that are going on here. We may not see it all out in the street where it's like in Chicago and Minneapolis and some of the other states, but it's stuff going on here too.
And we need to report and talk about it, because if we don't, then it's people thinking nothing is happening.
Right. Exactly.
And so that's a responsibility that we have. But that said, they have some accountability to say this is what we're doing. Here's the information. And if we need to come and talk about it, when is your show? Because we'll come and talk about it. As simple as that.
All right.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, exactly. So the Celebrity Sizzle Award goes to ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky is slated to receive the Vanguard Award for fashion at this year's 57th NAACP Image Awards fashion show. So the ceremony is going to take place at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium on February 28th, airing on BT and CBS. BT executive Connie Orlando said in a statement, his influence extends far beyond fashion. He has reshaped how culture, music, art, and personal expression intersects on a global stage. The NAACP honoring him with the Vanguard Award celebrates not only his style, but his vision, leadership, and lasting impact on the next generation of creators. And A$AP Rocky, he's been doing a lot this past year. He co-chaired the 2025 Met Gala, which celebrated Black dandyism, and he was featured on the May 2025 cover of Vogue. And then he's been being a great dad. Like I've been enjoying seeing that. So I'm your girl Lauren Sizzle, and that was a sizzle.
That was a sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful,
classy lady Sparkle,
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle,
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
All right, I don't want y'all to go in. This show is almost over, but we got one more thing to go. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back when we find something. Who I want to go to? Who do I want to go to? Let's go to Lauren. We'll be right back, y'all.
And he did apologize.
We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers. If you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's going to make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers. And we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today. That's what we try to do. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with, I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together and we just kept going. This one, her, this is one of my assistants here, one of like my biggest supporter, my biggest shooter here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band, just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yes.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So We Talk Weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We talk weekly, come and hear us. We talk weekly, come and hear them. 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 We talk weekly, come and hear them.
What's going on? This your favorite fly guy, Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly. Listen, everyone always asks me, they inbox me, email me, all type of things. We're trying to find your podcast. I mean, we can find your videos everywhere. All we have to do is go to WeTalkWeekly.com, or all we need to do is go to YouTube, or all we need to do is turn on Business Bully Channel, turn on Higher Than 7, turn on, we can find you. But sometimes I just want to work out and I want to listen to your podcast. I want to hear the latest in the sizzle, entertainment news, or good news and bad news, or just simply, I want to hear the interviews, some music, anything sports. I just want to listen. And I don't know where to find your podcast. I said, you know what? It's real simple. All you have to do is ask the right person. Watch this. Hey Alexa, play We Talk Weekly's podcast.
Here's We Talk Weekly from Amazon Music. Here's where you left off in the latest episode. Olivia Jade Red Table Talk, Kevin Hart Backlash for Netflix special No F's Given, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
See, I told you. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is ask the right person. Ask Alexa. Look, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling people to chime in. We out here like last year. I love. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And we are in the building with someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Classy Lady, you gonna tell me who we got today?
Yes.
All right, holla at me.
Today we got William Young in the building.
Strong.
He's a Philly-born actor, undefeated amateur boxer, and a youth mentor. And he's also a proud dad on his way to going pro. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to William Young.
What's going on, my brother? What's going on?
Hey, peace, love, and light. How y'all doing today?
All right. We got you in the building. I heard you had a little challenge getting here today, huh?
Yes, yeah. It was rough. I got the little one with me. I got young King here with me.
Yeah, for sure.
The weather, traffic, the bus is highly crazy out there. So
Cold.
Very cold.
Do they still say hawk?
It's hawking out there. Yeah. No
It's
doubt.
a Philly thing, because if you go somewhere else, they be like, "What you talking about?"
Yeah, no doubt. And so let's talk a little bit about my brother. So you've been here a few times, so we spoke to you a lot,
Yes.
So we're gonna jump right into what you got cooking, man. Undefeated. You got the belts in the building. Holla at us. What's really cooking?
Yes, I had to bring the belts in the building just to let y'all know what I've been up to.
Yeah.
a few weeks back. I told y'all, my goal is to set out to be champion. So a few weeks ago, January 10th, 2026, I've won these belts on Insurrection 1. I am the first Insurrection 1 middleweight champion of the world.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Congrats, round of applause.
Yes, fantastic.
Are they heavy?
The celebrity boxing one is heavy.
Okay.
This one is.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, that's legit. That's legit.
You said that's legit.
Yeah.
Give us that title again. What's the name of the title?
So this one is the Celebrity Boxing X Rumble middleweight, super middleweight champion of the world, the U.S. super middleweight champion, and this title is the Insurrection 1 super middleweight champion of the world. So this belt I've originally fought for on Celebrity Boxing.
Yeah.
The guy that I fought was Brandon Curry. We fought last March. Yeah, last March. This is right after the second interview I had with you guys.
Okay.
The fight was supposed to, I did well in the fight, but they leaned it towards him.
Yeah.
It was a split decision, but they leaned it towards him. So we got a rematch in. This was the belt I fought for. We got a rematch in on the Insurrection card. And not only I beat him for this one, but they put an extra belt on the line. We was the main event. And
interesting.
I got it. And also it was just my birthday. So
let me give you a round of applause for that one right there.
Yes.
For sure. No doubt. So you're moving up the ranks, my brother. You're fighting and you're doing really well. There's a lot of it's a fight today, as a matter of fact. Yeah, fight on. Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and then so who do you have right now as coming away on a win for this evening? It's a few big fights too. So
Shakur Stevenson and the other guy. The other guy's a tremendous, great fighter as well.
He is. It is.
I seen the way he trains. I seen the way he fights. Compared to Shakur's style, Shakur got his own unique style. He's actually adapting and becoming better himself as a fighter.
I agree.
Versus him running, throwing hits and slipping all the time. Then his last fight, he did the telephone booth where he just stood in the pocket and, threw punches and took some punches, which is quite dangerous. And I think that's very new to him, but he definitely did highly well in that last fight. So I'm either way with it. It's either way at this rate. So
it can go either way is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. It could go either way. And it's anybody's fight. Whoever makes the most mistakes loses.
What weight class are you in?
I'm currently middleweight.
You feel comfortable there? Do you feel like, you could possibly go up, or is there any benefit for you changing your weight class or staying where you are? For now, under the promotion, under Insurrection promotion, I'm gonna stay at middleweight. Actually, I may drop down for my next fight at 155 to I believe that might be welterweight. Yeah, welterweight. I'll drop at welterweight to fight Traquan Newson.
Okay.
Yeah. If he takes this fight, then I'll drop to that weight class. I have no problem dropping at 150 because I've done it before when I fought Hank Lindy last year, 2 years ago on Celebrity Boxing.
Yeah. So now you have a target on your back. You got the belt.
Yes.
So is there any? I won't use the word fear, but do you feel there are some things that you need to work on to make sure that you keep and retain them belts?
Just back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
I looked at the footage from my last fight.
Okay.
Made some mistakes, and now it's time to rectify those mistakes and perfect my techniques, perfect my agility, my speed, up in my cardio more, up in my sparring more, and I'll be fine.
Yeah. When is your next fight?
If Traquan takes this fight, it will be May 30th in AC at the Showboat Hotel.
Okay. Under who?
under Insurrection One, Parker's Place Boxing.
Okay, interesting. Okay, fantastic.
Shout out to Parker's Place Boxing, by the way. They're all way in Staten Island, New York. Coach Joe, that's the guy right there. That's the man.
Fantastic.
How do you prepare for a fight? Do you ever look at your opponents, like their style, if they're southpaw, like you said, telephone booth? What do you look at in order to, beat your opponent? And then what strategies do you do to better yourself from your previous fights?
So definitely looking at footage. So you have to look at the footage of your opponent to see where their mistakes may lie at. Where what is their weak points? Are they a sucker for the right? Are they a sucker for the left hook? Do they stumble over their feet? What's their pattern? What's their rhythm? And it's all about throwing your opponent's rhythm off, throwing them off their game. Also with dieting, we have to work out. We have to stay fit. Also, I mentioned before semen retention. At least
Shields talked about that too.
Yeah. At least 2 months before fight. We can't, no drinking, no smoking. I actually quit smoking, by the way.
That's good.
If I'm gonna go pro, like this year or next year, then quit. I gotta just stop. So
yeah, no, for sure.
So
okay.
What are your thoughts on like the pressures of having to stay within a weight class or like get down to a weight class? And I'm asking that because the UFC fighter Cameron Smotherman, who passed out after making that weight. What are your thoughts about that?
So that is a great question, and I can give you a great explanation about that. There are fighters that they do weight cuts at the last minute. So they don't lock in the entire fight camp. I have a couple of fighters that I know. They actually fight for bare knuckle. So what they do is
they crazy. I'm telling you, they wow.
Yeah, I actually had an offer to join bare knuckle, but I'm like, no, I'm cool. But to answer your question, the pressure of is all about taking your camp serious. Certain fighters that I know, they would not eat for 24 hours straight, and they would sweat in the sauna, which you would drop 20 pounds in one day.
Wow.
So it must have been something that he did along those lines at the last minute, maybe 2 to 3 days straight, or maybe a week straight, to drop all that weight and possibly not eating like he should have. And of course, after and it's crazy because my girlfriend, she sent me that video, like, yo, it's like he did the weight, and then as soon as he get dropped off the scale, he just fainted and fell right on his face, and now the fight's canceled. So
that was crazy.
It's to some fighters, depending on how they move, it is a lot of pressure. But if you do what you're supposed to do, stay locked in, stay focused, you really won't have nothing to worry about. So.
Now, on the darker side of boxing for too long could be detrimental to your health. I mean, you got so many boxers, like you got Muhammad Ali, you got other boxers who you can get concussions in your head, you can get they call it punch drunk. What is your outlook of saying, hey, when I get to this stage in my life of accumulating this amount of belts or this age or whatever, what is the time where William says, okay, I'm retired, or I'm gonna put my health first?
It will be when I turn at least 40, 42 years old, because of course I have a child, right? Liam. I have, and possibly I do plan on having more children. I do want to be functional and aware and extremely healthy to the point I can keep up with my children and teach them ways of life and show them to be the best version of myself so they can be the best version of themselves as they get older. It's also a matter of training.
I was gonna say not getting hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even during
Exactly.
sparring, I just learned this. Even during sparring, when fighters fight, they spar hard. They do get punched very hard in the head, even with the headgear on, which is not good. It's good to know what to do under pressure, but it's not good getting punched that hard every day.
And you're only going through sparring.
Yeah, you're only going through sparring just to learn techniques and all that. It's not good because even getting punched very hard in the head during training will take a toll on you and will add to that major effect in a fighter's career.
What have you been doing to, promote yourself a little more so people know who you? I mean, of course, you come on We Talk Weekly, we got you. But what have you been doing to show people like who you are and the things you've been doing? As it relates to your rise in boxing.
I've been basically training at certain gyms. I post my training videos on my stories and my reels and on my major page. Basically, I also collaborate with certain fighters and with Parker's Play Boxing. It's crazy that you said that because being a part of Insurrection One and being one of the fighters from Parker's Place Boxing, I just found out that I went viral. My biological brother just hit me up, was like, "Yo, Will, you went viral, right?" I was like, "No, I didn't know that." He was like, "Yeah, a few people came up to me, like, yo, your brother went viral." I was like, "No, I didn't know that." So I basically been training, just putting content out there, and my girlfriend, she's also a content creator. She's a hairstylist. So she puts her own content out there. She studies the algorithm. So she's basically teaching me, like, listen, babe, this is what you need to do to push more content out there, and I also teach boxing as well. I work at a disciplinary school, Caps Academy. So teaching my students, to control their emotions. And I also work with the parents to tell them that, and I put the idea in the parents' head, like, hey, you should get some boxing lessons as well, because some of those parents, they're just as angry as the kids are.
That's right.
That's why they come to school and give us a hard time. So
yeah, but I love that you're working at a school and that a lot of young male students get to see you, because there's a shortage of men teachers, specifically men of color in urban schools. So I love that you're doing that and making that contribution to Black and brown community. So
and you coming at them with a different angle, because it's not books for everybody, right? It's not music. But what you have to offer, I feel like kids want, and if you can get their attention with that one thing, you all will leaps and bounds together.
Yeah, it's crazy because I came in school with these two belts in my medal. They came in, especially my boys, they came in hype as ever. They came and hugged me and squeezed me, and they took my belts. It's like, yeah, I'm the champ now. It's like, yeah, Mr. Will, I work with middle school kids. So I work with 7th and 8th grade boys. So when I came in, they were hyped. They were overly hyped. They was happy. I gave one of them my belt, the other one my belt. When it was time to line up and transition, I was like, all right, y'all hold on to this. And I let one of my girls wear the medal and all that. And they were highly psyched and happy.
They always gonna remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, just the respect and admiration that you get from that. And you don't know that goes so far, because it just inspires them to be more and just to think outside the box. Because, I was having the conversation, I think it was my nephew probably again, but like we were talking about how schools don't really have much to offer and they don't see that much in schools, but just the regular stuff like basketball and stuff like that. But when they're able to see, that you can get into boxing, you can get into other things that are not just like the traditional, like the STEM and like, mock trial and stuff like that,
Yeah, it's actually great that we have certain staff in that school that offers a lot more. Like we have a couple of basketball coaches. We have like a couple of guys that own their own business, like security business. We have a couple of mentors that work in mentoring programs and stuff like that in these schools, that work outside these schools, that help the youth outside, just to lean them towards, the right way, instead of getting them out these streets and from doing the wrong things and stuff like that. I have one of my students is actually on house arrest. So I'm doing my best to get him together and just to get him to in the right direction, just to reach out to him.
And that's important because that may be something that he doesn't get at home.
Yeah.
And then you did mention that you're training boxers as well.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, not training boxers, but just training like the youth, just training like
at school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll sometimes train them and work with them just to get that anger out, because they come to school highly angry, and of course take it out on the staff. In the regular schools, I will say this, because we all come from where they come from. We all felt the same way, that certain staff just there for a paycheck. They don't really care about us, and I had that mindset as well. But coming from where they come from, I let them know, like, hey, listen, I get where y'all coming from. I was in y'all shoes when I was y'all age, so I get it. But what I'm telling y'all is the way y'all going about it is the wrong way. You have a right to your feelings, because they're your feelings. You have the right to feel how you feel. But let's work on approaching the situation in a better way.
The delivery of it.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it also shows that you've done 6 film projects and multiple stage productions. So
yes, and I currently just got done my 7th project. I did a project called Volt. I'm a part of this group called X Labs Entertainment. Shout out to X Labs Entertainment. We're basically a group that work on giving new people opportunities to film, to direct, to write, to I also do fight choreography as well. So we've been doing a lot of choreography. Even like I help out on assistant directing if like nobody steps up, I'll step up to the plate and just help out on set. So basically, Volt is a project that's based on African mythology. I play a teacher that teaches the main character on how to control his powers and stuff like that. So it's based on martial arts and superpowers and stuff like that. And it's a real good, dope and cool project. So
with all of what you said, from teacher to boxer to actor, which feels more like Will?
Oh, that's a great one. I would say more so actor, because I always had a love for acting. Even when I was a kid, I would say, honestly, let me rephrase that. A little bit of Will is in a little bit of all of them. Because I'm naturally a fighter. Ever since I was a kid, looking at Bruce Lee films, I always wanted to do fight choreography. I always wanted to be an actor on screen, and I have a passion for helping people, whether it's an adult or a child. So I always had a passion for helping kids just to be better, helping adults to be better. Giving them that positive energy.
Fantastic. Real quick, you're a role model and a pseudo dad to many. You have your son here today.
Yes.
If he come to you and say, "Yo, Dad," because they say that dads are their boy's first superhero, right? So if he come to you and say, "Yo, Dad, I want to be a boxer like you," what would be like your thoughts on that?
I would definitely tell him you have to mentally prepare yourself, because boxing is not something that you can just jump into easily.
Yeah.
I'm that type of parent that keeps it real. I gotta give it to you straight.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's no sugarcoating around it. I gotta go straight to the meat and the potatoes for you to understand. So I would look him square in his eye, be like, are you sure you're ready for this? Because it's hard
It's
work,
hard. It's definitely hard work.
dedication. You have to make sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, be locked in to be a good fighter.
Yeah.
So I would just have him ponder on that and think about that before jumping into it. I already teach him boxing already, just so he can know how to defend himself, how to hold his own. He's 6 years old. He's a big boy for 6 years old. Everybody think he 8 because of his size, but he's 6 years old. He's actually about to turn 7 next month, February the 9th. So that's my guy. That's my young king right there.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing. We got about 2 minutes left. What is it anything you would like anyone to know that's watching about anything that you have coming up or about you that you would love to amplify right now?
I will be having some projects coming out. I will be on the fight choreography wave. I'll be putting out fight scenes on social media with X Labs Entertainment. And I'll just be keeping up with my boxing training. If I have the May 30th fight, I'll be, just putting out content for that time frame.
Yeah, fantastic. How can they get in contact with you and find you again, all that good old stuff? Man?
On Facebook, you can find me as Will Stronghold. Instagram, find me Will Stronghold. On YouTube, you can see my YouTube page as William Young. I also put content out on my YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
fantastic. Well, you already know you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back, my guy.
Thank you.
But I want you to, continue to be great, man. Continue to protect yourself. Continue to, show the future. That there's some light out there because that's what you're doing. I really appreciate some of the work that you're doing. Real quick, why don't you let them know how to get in contact with you one more again?
Will Stronghold on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram is Will Stronghold Warrior _ Super Saiyan God. So yes, thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Absolutely. When is your next fight? One more time.
May 30th. If my opponent takes that fight, it will be May 30th. And on in Atlantic City at the Showboat Hotel.
Do you think they won't take the fight?
It's a possibility. I challenged them. I set the challenge. They say they want to fight, but you know how some guys are.
They won't.
Some guys they say they do, and then they won't. So
no, for sure.
Yeah, it's up in the air at this point.
No doubt. I got you. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Man, super excited for this gentleman. He's been doing a lot of work. He's a friend to the show, and he's always been a stand-up guy. So make sure you go and support him. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show for the day. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful,
classy lady Sparkle,
and the beautiful
Lawrence,
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry,
my guy
Will Stronghold.
And that's our show for the night, ladies and gentlemen. We out here like last year. Peace.
All right, y'all.